glasses.
Oh, good. Well, you just make them for over there. You can't put them in your pot. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. You can leave them there. We're coming up here together, so that's fine.
Test, test again, test.
So obviously you're not the chalice lighting. That happens first. And so it's this and then that. Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to do a little sound check with Brad?
Yeah, sure.
Brad, do you want to sound check the Ryans?
Hey, Brad. Want to go ahead? Check, check, check. How's that sound? Good? Good?
Yeah.
And Tara, what do we do after we read? Should we sit or go back to the pew or?
Because I do the offering after that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can just when you're done, just sort of like
Go back to our spot.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
For doing
No,
it,
anytime.
participating. It's just great to have other voices in the
Yeah.
service than mine. It makes it richer experience for all of us, including me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Our pleasure.
into the fathomless depths of your eyes, whose tears are the only holy water, which you will kneel and be baptized. There ain't nobody sicker than the seeker, who hardens himself against love. Perhaps that's what I see in him, and I want to heal in him, because I see it in myself. Song of sacred places raining down everywhere you wander is holy ground. The streets are brimming, and the beggar is walking with the king. They're groping in the dark for it, but never in the heart for it, where the only kingdom is. And the kingdom is song of sacred places raining down everywhere you wander is holy ground. Song of sacred places raining down everywhere you wander is holy ground.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Help us welcome our friends joining us on the live stream this morning. If you are ready to go out and love the world with us, I invite you to check the worship announcements. They're the back page of the order of worship. If you're in the room, there are a few hard copies. You can do a QR code and get it on your phone. And if you're joining us on live stream, Brad is putting the link in the live stream chat. Today, we are reminding ourselves to look for moments of magic in all of life's most ordinary moments. And a little bit of internal magic here at Throop is that we welcome back Megan Hawks, our musician in residence. Megan, you have been missed. We're glad you're here. If you're new to Throop today, we ask that you sign our guest book. You can find a link again in the live stream chat. If you're here in the room with us, there's a link in the order of worship, or there's a little info card in the back of the pew, and you can fill that out. And then later in the service, you can just drop it into the offering plate that will be passed up and down the aisles. We are glad you're spending Sunday morning with us. And each of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with love, compassion, and justice. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations, inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop was once and is still the home of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into seeking justice and equity for all. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And our opening hymn is number 389, Gathered Here, and you're invited to follow along in your hymnal.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
And take a moment and turn to a neighbor and welcome them into our worship space.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body,
Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
Spirit, draw near.
And as Spirit draws near, our responsive reading this morning has words that you'll respond with. They are May magic emerge in life's ordinary moments. Let's try that together. May magic emerge in life's ordinary moments. Infinity is indicated in fingertips and stars and grasses and leaves and strands of hair and sand, raindrops and flakes of snow. May magic emerge in life's ordinary moments. Infinity is indicated in flower seeds and birds' feathers, rushing rivers and unceasing thoughts and dreams. May magic emerge in life's ordinary moments. The presence of good is indicated in blue of sky, in green of earth, and thus far of waves in the stillness of heights. May magic emerge in life's ordinary moments. The presence of good is indicated in cool of shade, in wafting of wind and breaking of bread, and in the transcendence of love. May magic emerge in life's ordinary moments.
Out of the stars in their flight, out of the dust of eternity, here we have come, stardust and sunlight, mingling through time and through space.
Out of the stars have we come, up from time, out of the stars have we come.
Time out of time, before time, in the vastness of space. Earth spun to orbit the sun, earth with the thunder of mountains newborn, the boiling of seas.
Earth warmed by the sun, lit by sunlight, this is our home, out of the stars have we come.
Mystery hidden in mystery, back through all time, mystery rising from rocks in the storm and the sea.
Out of the stars, rising from rocks in the sea, kindled by sunlight on earth, arose life.
Ponder this thing in your heart, ponder with awe.
Rising life from the sea, eyes to behold, throats to sing, mates to love.
Life from the sea, warmed by sun, washed by rain, life from within, giving birth, rose to love.
This is the wonder of time, this is the marvel of space. Out of the stars swung the earth, life upon earth rose to love.
This is the marvel of life, rising to see and to know. Out of your heart, cry wonder, sing that we live.
And each Sunday we come together singing in gratitude that we live, that we are connected with one another, that we're connected with earth. This church is very much ours, and all of us support it through gifts of time and gifts of talent and gifts of treasure. If you're able to make a financial contribution this morning, you can do that in one of three ways. You can donate online, and that link is in the live stream chat or in your order of worship. You can text to give, and that too will be in the chat. It's in your order of worship. If you're here with us in the room, you can give a check or cash in the offering plate that's about to come down the aisle by Marissa, and you can put that in one of the giving envelopes that you can find in the back of your pew. Thank you so much for all the ways you support our life together, and the offering will now be gratefully received.
My blood doth rise in the roots of yon oak, her sap doth run in my veins, boundless my soul like the open sky, where the stars forever out, and my sight as deep as the sea. Beating my heart sounds of measures of old, that of love's eternity. That of love, that of love, that of love's eternity. I feel the tides as they answer the moon, mine on a far distant sand. Winging my song is the wind of my breast, and the love blows over the land. And my love, and my love, and my love blows over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith settles deep in the earth, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day.
With our hearts full of that beautiful music, Megan, we offer our own thanks in response to the offering, and those words are in the order of worship. For the ministries of the church and our community, we bless our offering with love and hope. And with our hearts crying out wonder for all that is our earth, that holds us, that is in need of our prayers and of our actions. Each Sunday we offer our promise to our planet. And before we dive into that, I just invite you to, if you feel like it, to take a breath in together and exhale. And if you're with us on the live stream, take that breath in with us and exhale. Now, always think, trying to hold some piece of creation close in our heart and mind really helps bring this promise more alive, for me anyway, and helps ground it in the reality of our lives. So just take a minute and think about some part of creation that you hold really dear. And then we say this promise together. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. And still holding close in your heart and mind whatever that part of creation was, I invite you all to just take a breath in again and to exhale. And as we join together in prayer and shared stillness, this is a good time, if you haven't fully let yourself land and be in this space, to let your soul catch up with your body. Now's a moment to let that happen. Blessed are we who recognize that spark, that glimmer of transcendence that feels otherworldly. We find it in color and fragrance, in life within life, in light gently glowing. There is a reality we can scarcely believe. Yet somehow we remember in the depths of our souls. It is something that at a sunrise that no picture can capture. It comes in a moment of clarity we can't quite describe. The quality time with a friend that we find hard to duplicate. It is a magical rhythm suffused with delight and goodness and love and joy. Blessed are we who are more alive to the desire that has been awakened. And that desire becomes longing, and longing becomes a faith in our growing vision and life's growing vision. Blessed are we who are here on this earth, glad to gaze out at the starry heavens, worlds of all splendor, with grateful hearts. And we sit for a few moments in a sweet bit of shared stillness, breathing in all that is our life with grateful hearts. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
Color and fragrance, magical rhythm, sweet changing music will guide us with them. Life within life, in a light gently glowing. Surely you seem to be God's vision growing. Oh, starry heavens, worlds all of splendor, suns without number, new life engender, wheel in a wheel with the light gently glowing, moving in harmony, God's vision growing. Handful of pebbles, high mountain passes, depths in the ocean, dew on the grasses, great things and small, with the light gently glowing. Word of the wordless song, God's vision growing.
The book of Genesis opens with, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void." And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved across the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. 2 weeks ago, we saw images from the James Webb Telescope. This is the largest telescope that's in space, and these stunning images of galaxies that are millions of light years from us recalled the wonder of time, the marvel of life, mystery hidden within mystery. Have you seen those images on the internet and the paper all over the place? And can you recall how you felt the first moments that you saw those? Some of these galaxies don't exist anymore, except in the light that remains from their brilliant shining. We are seeing the past and the present. And scientists tell us that the images that were captured, they are like holding a grain of sand on the tip of your finger with your arm extended out as far as you can extend your arm. They are tiny snapshots of a vastness which we can hardly comprehend. Stardust and starlight, mingling through time and space. Out of your heart cry wonder, sing that we live. This summer's worship services are about being good enough however you are showing up in the world today. You don't need to push yourself to fit someone else's expectations of what is perfect. You, exactly as you are whole and holy right in this moment. I know how easy it is to forget that. I know how easy it is to get drawn into a frantic pace of life where you are ruled by your to-do lists and your tasks, and you're this thing and you're that thing, and getting overwhelmed with a never-ending news cycle and the rush to do everything yesterday. Moving from here to there, we can forget to look up from the ground. We can forget to look out. And those images from the telescope maybe help some of us remember that as beautiful as a blade of grass is, we also need to look up into the stars, which we can sort of see in LA and Pasadena a little bit sometimes. And when we look up and out, sometimes something happens. Sometimes we see those stars or those images from the telescope, and they remind us of two things simultaneously. One, how just tiny and small each one of us is, and yet how incredibly connected each one of us is to the rest of the universe. Sometimes the sunrise peeks in through our window in the morning as we are just mundanely making coffee, and we catch our breath with the beauty of the color that is filling the sky just for that moment. Or sometimes we are lifted up outside of ourselves when we can sing with other voices and hit notes and make music that we could never do all on our own. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, we get that spark of transcendence and wonder. A good enough life does not need to be perfect. A good enough life compels us to make meaning out of the life we do have. Not to think that at some point down the road, when I have enough money, or I have a certain type of friend, or I have more influence, or I have whatever, then I'm going to be the person that I know I was always supposed to be. In her book, The Power of Meaning, Author Emily Esfahani Smith identifies pillars that can help us make meaning in our life. And one of those pillars is transcendence. The word transcend means to climb or go beyond. A transcendent or mystical experience is one in which we feel we've risen above the everyday world into a different reality. William James writes that mystical experiences share 4 qualities. One is they're passive. No matter how hard we try, we cannot make them happen. 2 is they're transient. We want to hold on to that feeling, but we can't. The 3rd is they're ineffable. It's hard to capture it in feelings or words. And the 4th is they are noetic. They impart knowledge and wisdom to those who experience it. In Unitarian Universalism, we have 6 sources from which we draw wisdom. And the very first source is the one where we draw upon direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. Our own direct experience of all that is. Now, don't tell any of the other sources, but that one is my very favorite one. Looking at images of those galaxies that are so like our own and yet nothing like our own, taking in the brief beauty of a sunrise, creating harmonies with others. In these moments, we can be lifted up out of ourselves, yet also compelled to feel our very humanness. We are one person, yet bound with others. We live on this one planet, one among millions. Out of the stars have we come up from time. But our humanness means we don't always look up and out, do we? Some mornings, the sunrise doesn't make us pause. We just hurry on through it. Some days, our singing may be off key. The past 2 years, we've just had a hard time singing, period, with other people. Looking at the stars, at the sunrise, singing, whatever it is for you, it doesn't guarantee that magic will happen. Really, it's pretty unpredictable. We cannot plan for it. I cannot put in my calendar, Tuesday at 2, I'm going to be totally transcendent with Terry Trindler at Throop. The magic may surprise you while gazing at a deep orange dahlias at Trader Joe's. It may surprise you when you come across a line of poetry or when you linger with friends over dinner. Transcendence is random and fleeting. Becoming immersed in our own personal stuff and forgetting to appreciate the beauty, the sacredness that we can find in our ordinary lives, that's not a new problem just among us here in these pews today. The ancient Israelites needed reminders of God's presence and faithfulness. They needed reminders of the awe and wonder of life whenever they would forget it. They needed something they could look at in moments of despair that would soothe them and let them know you won't be in this moment of despair or agony or grief forever. The prophet Samuel began a practice of taking a stone and placing it wherever God's help and presence had been found. He called it an Ebenezer, which in Hebrew means a stone of help. We're not able to bottle up these moments of magic, of transcendence. If we could, don't you know, I would have a whole array of different colored and sized bottles up here, and I would hand them out to you at the end of the worship service. I can't do that, but each of us can make our own physical reminder of those moments we've experienced in life. And that way, when you encounter something difficult and you're not sure how you're going to make your way through it, you can have something to look at, to touch, to hold, to remind you, to ground you, to remember there is a love holding you and you are not in it alone. So we're going to make our own Ebenezer stone today. We have stones here on a table. And think of some moment in your own life, a sacred moment, a holy moment, a magic moment that led you to a feeling of awe and wonder, or a feeling of deep connection with all that is, or deep connection with another person. And when you have that in your heart, I invite you to just come forward as your body allows, to choose a stone and to either write one word on it or draw a symbol on it, or just pick up the stone. You don't have to do anything special with it, but to help you remember that moment of magic. And then take the stone home with you and place it somewhere that you'll see it either inside or outside, that can help you remember when you need to remember those moments of magic in your life. So some of you wrote qualities like steadiness and patience. I saw a drawing of a tree, an experience of participating in birth and getting a companion animal. My own is the monarch butterflies that make a home in my home garden. Watching them flitter around can take me out of myself for at least a moment. This direct experience of awe and wonder has the unique gift of awakening us into moments of magic and transcendence all around us. We can't bottle them up, but we can hold onto these stones that can be reminders of the miracle of life, of the holiness that is indeed possible in our ordinary lives. Stardust and sunlight mingling through time and space. Out of your heart cry wonder, sing that we can live. May it be so.
Joy, thou goddess fair, immortal, offspring of Elysium, mad with rapture to the portal of thy holy fane we come. Fashion's laws indeed may sever, but in magic joins again. Humankind is one forever, 'neath thy mild and gentle reign. Joy in nature's wide dominion, mightiest cause of all is found, and is joy that moves the pinion when the wheel of time goes round. From the bud she lures the flower, suns from out their orbs of light. Distant spheres obey her power, far beyond all mortal sight.
Place a hand on your heart. Reach another out to either our live stream people or someone in the room. Our chalice is extinguished. We carry its light with us. May you go forward, finding those moments of magic all around you, and have a little moment of magic together during our coffee and conversation, which is just through those doors in Throop Hall. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen and blessed be.
When I was a kid, each week on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest, and they would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but even better magic trick is anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, It barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, 7-second rate hand me down, but I'm walking with a reverend dare, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. It'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I'll tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand me down, but I'm walking with a reverend dare, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Brad, on live stream. Thank you, Ripley, Dave, Maureen, and Gordon for participating in worship leadership today. I will see you all in Throop Hall for coffee, cookies, conversation.